Hello chess lovers, this is round 12 recap from the candidates, and today on the menu is going to be a super exciting battle between Liren and Timur Radjabov. I am now flipping the board around because I don't have my usual layout with the dudes, and that allows me to mess around with the board layout a little bit more freely, and that is going to be good news for us. Liren has been doing really well, picking up wins here and there, opening up the second part of the tournament, at least as far as second place is concerned. And so this game was definitely the one to look out for, because being behind the white pieces is always a very dangerous customer. To slightly contradict that, he actually opted for a very quiet variation in the Nimzo Indian, where most ambitious players here play knight f3, knight e2 even, but definitely not c takes d2. That has a bit of a reputation for being a very equalish variation. That being said, equalish variations did not stop players from scoring spectacular victories across the board throughout the tournament, so there is that too. ed5, a3, bishop d6, and now we are landing basically in a cd-ed exchange pawn structure of the Queen's Gambit declined, except that the black bishop is better placed on d6 than it usually is on e7, and the white bishop is still back at home on c1. And that basically means that black has already achieved very easy equality without any dramas. And actually after queen c2, which is still book, Radjabov managed to come up with a brand new move here. Actually no, queen c2 is already not book, my apologies. Queen c2 is already new, and queen c2 knight e6 is definitely something we have never seen before, and a very exciting idea really, because Radjabov wants to support c5 with the knight from a6, but also is keen to tempt his opponent to take on a6, which actually did happen in the game. How good it was is up for debate for sure. So knight e2, c5, very logical play. Black is happily going towards a IQ piece setup with dc knight c5, where neither the bishop nor the knight are optimally placed. The knight is actually okay because it can go to d4 from either f3 or e2, but the bishop on d3 usually is misplaced in these IQ piece structures. So Ding decides to take, which is a very big call, because this allows black to play with the two bishops. And once again, the knight on e2 is a little bit a missed piece from the king side, at least, so that even if, white considers castling kingside, they always have to worry about the Greek gift in the absence of the knight from f3. Now, that being said, castles here is actually right away the punishment. It's quite interesting that at some point in the games it would have worked and at other times it wouldn't. Here it does work, because now queen g5 is remarkably powerful, and if f4, then we can go to queen h5, and now the queen h2 check threats are remarkably strong. Whereas if e4, then there is a beautiful mate here with knight takes f1. Wowzers! Now, I have seen a lot of mates in the Greek gift idea, but this is actually new to me as well. So that was a marvelous demonstration of the dangers that are lurking in this position for white. Now, after dc bishop c, however, this would have been the perfect time to tuck the king away to safety, because the bishop has been decoyed from this diagonal, so the Greek gift is not going to work. b4. Now the bishop is back, which means that now the Greek gift is back on again. Bishop b2, a5. I really love this idea. Black immediately puts his double pawns into use and trying to break up the pawn chain. Now, one thing that I really liked when listening to Judith Polgar and Jan Gustafsson's commentary was that here Gustafsson recommended castles, which is a brilliant idea as far as positional pawn sacks are concerned, in my opinion, because now after AB, bishop b, Gustafsson recommended bishop a3, and after bishop takes, rook takes, he said that there is in no way can white lose this. Interestingly, Judith was very reluctant to accept this, because obviously black is a clear pawn up, but the more I look at it, the more it seems to me that the immense power behind the white heavy pieces, and also the fact that now the whole army is really well coordinated, makes me want to think that Gustafsson was on the money here. And in fact, the engine approves. It's a dead even 0.0 position. Note that also the other idea with castles bishop h2 here does not work, because in strong contrast to the previous variation, now there is a connection between the rooks on the back rank. So now I can just go f4, and after queen h5, rook h1 is going to deny black from this queen h2 idea, and now it is white who is winning. Instead, Ding opted for b5, however, and he kept on delaying casting for so long that eventually it became an impossibility. Now again he needs to watch out, because if castles, then we have this very nasty double attack of h2 and a takes b5, utilizing the pin on the c2 queen. So that was quite cool too. And so after a6, h3 was played with the obvious intention of eliminating all the trickeries on h2, but very curiously this invited a new tactical motif, and again this is a testimony to, or a testament to, the power of the two bishops. Bishop d7 was played, tickling the b5 pawn, and now Radjabov is planning to play queen c8 and utilizing this diagonal to great effect. So for example, after castles, queen c8, once again creating this nasty pin, let's say queen d2, we have bishop takes h3. And the pawn is immune to capture. Note the superb location of the rook on a6. So not only do we have an awesome mate threat on h2, but after f4, bishop c5, all of a sudden, this rook is going to join the fray with elementary power. And this rook g6 move is going to be the decisive factor. A marvelous attack, and by now all commentators, by the way, tended to agree that White's position looked very difficult to play. Like all of a sudden, none of the pieces made sense in their location as far as Black's incoming threats were concerned. Rook b6 was okay, queen c8 would have been fine too, rook d2, and this is where Ding just loses it. In terms of planning and strategy, he still had bishop a1, once again sacking the pawn, but at least allowing the king to be tucked away. But he insisted on trying to hold it together. And now after queen c8, he's paying the price. Again, no castling because of bishop h3. So he decided to secure the king with f3, king f2. But this actually invited a disaster that allowed Black to secure a marvelous victory with an amazing sack. Queen b8, preparing the conquer of the dark squares, also putting a lot of pressure here. And when queen c1 is played to sort of cover everything, there comes the boomshki. Boy, what a marvelous sacrifice this is. Rook takes c3, luring the king out to the open. Ding could not accept the invitation, because now bishop c5 check, knight d4, queen e5 check decides the outcome of the game in a beautiful fashion. If rook d4, then rook takes b2, and we still win a lot of wood on that pin. So either case, this was not playable after king d4, bishop c5 check. And of course, if king c3, d3, excuse me, then comes bishop f5 check, and the crossfire of the bishops again will prove to be completely decisive. So instead, he played knight d1, but now came the carnage. Or should have come the carnage rather, with rook takes e2. This is a superb finish, with the idea that after rook e2 we just go bishop g3 check, king g1, and here actually the cruel engine just says h6. It's all good. No hurry, bro. That guy there is not gonna play for the rest of the game, and we are just going to simply outpower the defenders, whose number is 4, by the way, with the attackers, whose number is 5. Beautiful stuff. It's actually already minus 7.4, so by the engine's measure, we are almost a queen up by Black here. Insane stuff. Radjabov instead played rook e8, which totally is fine. It kept all the attack and the momentum as well. Knight e3. Ironically, again, rook takes e3 is winning here too. He went for rook b3. Totally fine move, increasing the attack. Once again, the dark squared bishop is a total boss. The heavy pieces are very effective. It is just utter carnage. Now, that being said, here I must show you the most beautiful line that wasn't played in the game. After h takes back, the engine reckons that knight g4 is the cleanest and fastest win. Takes and bishop g3 check, king back to g1 again. and rook takes b2. This is just sensational. And the idea is that now there is a disconnect between the white pieces, so that after queen b2, we go check. If now the queen blocks on d4, there comes the fantastic coup de grace, rook takes e2. This could be actually an example in any chess puzzle book. And upon capturing the black queen, we have got a back rank mate. The same theme would work in case black blocked with the rook. We take the knight this time round first, and if queen takes, then comes the check, king f1, and queen check here leads to a similar checkmate scenario. Once again, beautiful checkmate variations on the production line. Instead, Timur went for the safer, I don't know if you can call it, rook c8, and after queen a1, bishop f4, it was time to throw in the towel. The black position, excuse me, the white position collapses entirely on the dark squares, and of course after knight takes, queen takes, not only is the rook hanging, but knight takes g4 and knight e4 threats are also absolutely terminal. And so that was the story of round 12. A very one-sided, beautiful attack by black. It was quite shocking to see how somehow Ding just didn't feel the tempo of this game at all, and didn't manage to recognize the key moments when he had a chance to tuck his king away with a castle and play for a draw. And yeah, it just slipped through his fingers, and yeah, it ended up in a blitzkrieg victory for Radjabov, which, by the way, means that we are looking at a super exciting last two rounds, because it seems that Nepo is going to win. My prediction is that Magnus is not going to play, which means that the next World Championship match will be played between Nepo and whoever comes second, which may be Hikaru, maybe Ding, may even be Fabiano. It is an app, maybe even be Radjabov. So this is now utter chaos in terms of who is going to come second. We are looking to see some super exciting chess for the last two rounds, so stay tuned because I'm going to cover those as well. As for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to sub, to like, to comment, and to super like if you can. And that is going to be it for me for now. And I will see you in the next video. Cheerio. Bye.